What's good, sippers? Welcome back. Episode 2. If you ain't know already, we sitting and we sipping. We got a great episode for you today. We talking about the life with a wife. Man, it's a crazy thing. And you know what? There's one guy between us who really doesn't have a whole lot of experience in the department, so Gio's gonna facilitate some conversation while me and Eric really touch base on everything we can and give some our own personal insights. So G, why don't you start us off? You know, what do you think we want to start with up there?
All right, so I think the first thing we're gonna start it with is happy wife, happy life. Is it a thing, and is it a thing that can be achieved in college?
Eric, we'll start with you. Happy wife, happy life. Is that a thing? Look, if it wasn't a thing, it wouldn't be a saying. Yes, it is true, but it is true. It is true. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly, I don't know if I can agree.
I think you said it wrong. It's not happy wife, happy. What is that?
Happy wife, happy life.
I said it right.
Okay,
he spelled it wrong.
Yeah, somebody typed it. Look.
Hey, listen, my thumbs are big. All right, my thumbs are big.
He said happy wife, happy wife.
My thumbs are big.
Okay, so
the L and the W are on two different sides of the screen, my boy.
All right, so here we go. Let me break it down for you. My personal experience: happy wife, happy life. Is that a thing?
Oh,
I want to say yes, because if if you guys aren't married, or it's even the same with a girlfriend, you know, if you have a long-term relationship with your significant other, you know what I'm saying, it's like, if they aren't happy and you guys say you live together, you're not going to eat dinner maybe that night. You know what I'm saying? There's there's things that you're going to take for granted because it's something that she might always do, but if she's not in the right mindset and is thinking about it and just says, you know what, I'm not happy, I'm not doing this, I don't want to do it, I'm not feeling it, it's going to affect you. And not even just like on the little selfish things like, if she going to cook me dinner, it's like, your mental ain't going to be right, because if she's not happy, you're going to feel that energy, you're going to receive that energy, and it's either you're going to give that energy back, that negative energy, or you're going to waste so much energy trying to be so positive. But at the end of the day, if someone's not happy, they're not happy. So it's going to be really hard to change that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So
what
if you do things that you know would normally make her happy, and yet she still isn't happy with what you do?
But then at that point, it's not something you do that makes her not happy. In the physical sense, it could be she's not happy emotionally. Maybe you're not telling her how much, you know what I'm saying, she does for you, or how much you love her. Like for my instance,
and she still isn't happy.
So hold on,
and at that point,
the thing though.
You can't do nothing. Women is, you know what I'm saying?
All right then. So is happy wife, happy life really a thing?
Yes, because when they're happy, your life is happy. Life is good. When they are happy, everything.
So you telling me you can't be happy with a wife that isn't happy? That's what you're telling me.
It's hard. It's really hard. So look,
it can be hard, but can it be done?
So you're taking no, because you're taking a different question. You're saying is it hard for me to be happy? We're not talking about.
I'm saying, can you be happy if your wife is unhappy?
Yes, I can.
Okay then. So,
but we're not talking about
happy wife, happy life.
We're not
really a thing.
No, because you're talking about my personal feelings. I'm not talking about a personal feeling. The question is, happy wife, happy life. Is your life good? Not your.
That's why I'm asking. But can you have a good life and be happy if your wife is unhappy?
You ready, George? I got you.
Go ahead. Let me talk to you.
Granted,
you're putting two questions.
It's not like my.
Well, I'm not. You think I am?
It's not my job to make sure she's happy, right?
Right.
So, like, at the end of the day, you need to make sure you're happy. Like, that's your own personal thing, right?
Right.
But if she's not, it's very hard for me to go throughout my day being around this person like 18 hours out of a day, 16 hours out of a day, and being like, oh, well, she's pissed off.
Hey, let's do this. Let's put it like this for him real quick. Change it from, it's not going to rhyme or nothing. Happy coach, happy life. If our head coach or your football coach is not happy, does practice tend to go good? Because I can say from the offensive side, no. You go, nothing's going to run good. Right? What's your answer to that? What's your answer to that?
That's a rough day. That's a steep day.
So happy wife, happy life. Yes, 100%. 100%. And back to what you were saying, and I'll let Drew go in after I go. What I feel like you were saying was that since you can be happy while she's unhappy, your life is happy. No, I could be happy, she could be unhappy, in the life not be happy at all, or vice versa. She could be very happy, and I could just have a really bad day, and in that instance, she's happy, I'm not. Honestly, personally, if I'm not happy, she is. Life is still better because there's things that, you know what I'm saying. It's just, yeah, happy wife, happy life. I agree.
There's just some things that you can't go through smoothly with an unhappy wife. Like, hold on, you like, hey baby, what you want to go eat? Nothing. I mean, you said you were hungry. I ain't hungry.
Then you give options. They say, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Now what if you
Or they say anything.
And what if you choose?
You say
what if you choose
cheeseburger.
her favorite thing and she still don't want it? Then what?
Then you know what? That's a bad day. It ain't nobody happy because
Yeah.
ain't nobody getting fed. That's
So you telling me you're not gonna eat because
I ain't
she's not
say
gonna
that.
eat?
I ain't say that. I said
He's like, come on, like
I'm just
we
like-
gotta be consistent. Like,
I'm just like
George, how, like, be consistent. Put it back in the same way of a coach. Like, you can admit that if the coach ain't happy, it's not gonna be a happy life, right? So it's the same thing with the wife.
the coach
if
could not be
wife-
happy when we do 15 periods a team and I make a whole bunch of plays. Shit, I'm gonna be happy even though if we doing 15 periods.
Okay,
a
but
team.
are you gonna be?
What's the play?
Are you gonna be happy
What are
when
we
they make
talking
you run 4 300s and then turn around and do another?
No.
Okay,
But we
so that's the food part. The food part is the coach making you run 300s. Yeah, you might get team, or yeah, she might not tell you what she wants to eat, but when you get in bed, she might want to hold you, or you can hold her, and y'all can cuddle and you know what I'm saying, and get that physical bond. That is your 15 play period teams where you make a bunch of plays.
Right.
But your bad time is the 300s that coach make you run. Or our bad time is she has an attitude or she's not happy and we don't know what to get for dinner. You might not just eat. You know what I'm saying? That's our 300s. So it goes both ways. You can't quit trying to find ways to say that happy wife, happy life isn't true, because it is. And you will understand once you have a wife or you have a long-term relationship and you live together, you shower together, you share the
that's a big
same
difference.
same clothes, and then especially when you get a kid into it, the kid control everybody mood. So if the kid ain't happy, then ain't no one happy. I can tell you that right now.
I'm about to say I definitely ain't gonna speak on that. 'Cause that's
I-
hey, all right, hey, you got it on that one.
I
ain't
genuinely
gonna speak
think
on that
the
one.
whole thing changes once you move in together. So like, she could be unhappy while y'all not living together, but she goes home. Like you can kind of
Sleep in your own bed comfortable.
Right, you can kind of deal with the fact like, okay, she ain't here. I'm gonna play the game. I don't gotta hear her,
But when-
you know,
when
be
y'all always
upset.
together,
I don't gotta
she-
feel her presence. That she's like staring at the side of my head, pissed off.
She's stealing the blankets and shit like
Right.
that. Right, okay.
Now,
Now,
one
once
for sure be stealing the blankets.
once you get to the house, it's like, yeah, it is known. The rest of the day, week, month, however long it takes, it doesn't matter. I am upset.
It's just not gonna be good.
No,
It's
Not
just
at
it's just gonna continue to be
not
more
at all.
bad.
And Eric touched on it earlier. Like you're gonna feel that bad energy, and it's really hard to not give it back. But once you give it back, y'all are just
It just
going
makes it
back
worse.
and forth.
Yeah.
Giving.
No, I
it
ain't gonna lie. I'm bullshit. I definitely believe
That's what
it's
I'm
a
saying.
thing. I definitely believe it's a thing. But you know, I
Devil's
just,
advocate.
Just to,
Devil's
right,
advocate.
you gotta play devil's advocate. You
At
know,
least
just,
once.
just to see the you feel me the difference. All right. So how did you know so young, Eric? You being 22, 23, Drew, you being 22, 23. You know, how did you know so young that this was who you want to spend the rest of your life with?
So like, it's really, it's weird. It's a different animal. Like for me, when I always talk to people, it was always a if you know kind of thing. Man,
It's a look. I don't know. So the reason we laugh is that George looked at me so crazy while he was answering the question.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't,
so-
bro. You looked at me crazy.
Look, so like George, like Drew said, I'll let Drew finish and I'll go. I apologize. Go ahead, Drew.
nah, it's cool, bro. Y'all had me drinking on my. I choked on my sipping, but look, see,
My bad.
like it was a weird conversation for real, because I had to sit there and think to myself like, is there someone else I really want to do this with? Like being like in a comfortable spot. I'm like, man, this is. I don't think it gets much better. Like I'm happy, and I can't imagine myself without this. You know, like, I can't imagine myself being, like, okay. Like, I'd be okay, but I'd rather not. Like, at all. Like, there's not a day...
Not see it.
No, there's not a day that I'd be like, yeah, I'd be happier without this in my life. Without this person in my life. No. So I think that was really what flipped it over. You know?
I can tell she gonna listen to this episode. So for me,
give me a couple brownie points, man.
You know what I'm saying? But for me, man, I mean, yeah, you know, for the listeners, I got married at 19. You know what I'm saying? And it was I don't want to say I was always embarrassed to say this and like talk to people because I'm a really open book and I talk about any and everything. But the reason I kind of got embarrassed saying this because the looks we'd get from other people. So like, I've known my wife since I was in 4th grade. Went to the same elementary school for like a year or two. Knew her through middle school and like freshman year of high school. Man, we became like best friends. Like we were best friends all the way up through high school, and it was, I mean, all the way through high school, and obviously still to now. But in high school, it was one of those things where it was like we always felt that we liked each other, but we never acted on it because we were happy where we were as friends. And not only that, I'm not gonna say like that's the only reason why. It's like every time I was single, she wasn't. Every time she was single, I wasn't. And you know, it's just how life was. And then towards the end of the senior year, like literally like the last 3 months of senior year, I was single, she was single. We went through our trials and tribulations with our significant others that we had at the time, and we just kind of like connected. And it's always one of those things. Like I've always known I loved my wife, because I loved her as a friend before I loved her as a wife. I loved her as a friend before I loved her as a girlfriend or anything in that sense. So taking that transition, you know what I'm saying, it's like it was easy for me. And you know what I'm saying, we had a kid pretty early into our relationship, and that's why I felt like I was kind of embarrassed to tell people like, how long you guys been dating? And they're like, oh, we've been dating for 3 months, and on the 4th month we find out we're having a kid. And people are like, well, why are you having a kid with someone that you just started dating in 4 months? And to me, it's like, we've been dating 4 months, but we've been best friends for 4 or 5 years. And I know her like the back of the hand. She knows me better than I really know myself. And that was the reason I felt like kind of embarrassed to tell people things like that, because they'd always give us a crazy look because we didn't wait 5 years into a relationship, 6, 7, 8 years. But I feel like we were best friends for 4 years, 5 years going on, you know what I'm saying? And it was something that, like, at the end of the day, we both wanted. So we made it happen. At the end of the day, we just made it happen. We didn't do like a big wedding, which we planned to do, but shout out COVID ruining all those plans for the summer wedding. So we're gonna have that coming up soon. But no, I mean, it was just like, it was the right time. That's how I knew, and it was, what do you call it? What they call it? The old people call it. My grandpa be saying it. Some high school
sweetheart.
Yeah, that stuff. That yeah, it was like, you know what I'm saying, it was a little something like that. That's how I knew, man. Best friends forever. Like Drew said, that feeling, that love, you know what I'm saying, it was there. So why not? You know what I'm saying?
It's like, it was kind of crazy for me. Like, it wasn't quite as extreme as yours. But like, I'd be like, I talk to my family members, which is crazy to me, like within family. Like, yeah, we're living together. And they're like, really? Y'all been going out like a year? Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Like, it's
half
like,
on rent.
like,
I don't think they understand.
Man, look, it's getting steep out here.
Hey, man.
Nah, but for real, like, it's weird to me how, like, even within your own family, that you get those same strange looks.
Yeah.
Like, that never made sense to me. The fact that these people are supposed to, you know, have your back a little bit, and you still get to look like, oh, I wouldn't do that, but you do you know. It's, and then like a year later we were engaged, and 6-7 months after that, we're expecting. So it's
Congratulations on that.
Appreciate
I just want to throw that out there for
Appreciate
everybody else to know I'm a good person. No.
we're real excited, but like some of the side eyes from people in public, it's just interesting. It's weird.
I mean, at the end of the day, it ain't their relationship.
Hell
So
no, it's not.
at the end of the day, fuck what they talk about. Like,
Hey,
I mean, excuse my language, but
No,
I mean,
fuck what they
that's
talk
how
about.
it is. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Like,
saying something. Look,
there ain't no
that's
reason
us.
for them. Like,
Hey,
shit,
it's
it's
me and
us.
us.
And
Worry
that's
about y'all.
one, that's one
You know
thing
what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
like, you know what I'm saying, is you had that true attitude, and like I agree with you, like literally fuck what they're talking
Fuck what
about.
they talking
You-
about.
It's love, it's you, and I don't know like if it's different for you, if it's one of those relationships like, oh, it's a black guy and a white girl.
Mm-hmm.
And those looks, you know what I'm saying, that
Interesting.
they are deadly, and it's one of those looks you just know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
what it's about.
at the
It's
end
not
of the day,
about
it's
nothing
like,
else.
You
It
love
don't
her,
matter.
she love
That's
you.
what it's about.
Y'all good, man.
Hey, it's me and mine versus the world. We good, but it's it's just
The world
funny.
be trying y'all. It's like, hey, what y'all trying to do? Okay, so speaking of, since y'all, Eric, y'all knew each other. Y'all were going out before you went to college, and Drew, y'all met each other in college, and getting engaged and having kids, stuff like that. Do you feel that you missed out in single life in college? For you, more so, Eric.
Did I miss out?
Nah. I mean, I know you're not gonna feel like it, but like now, of course, you're not gonna feel like it. But like,
Did I miss out on the college experience?
yeah.
I want to say yes and no, and I'm gonna explain why. Because
Like I
When
know,
I was
I know
at-
you gotta be
when I was-
real smart with.
no,
the
I don't gotta be
answer
smart.
here,
I told her about this episode. I told her I am open, but
alright,
I'm not gonna
alright.
let her know.
Alright.
I'm authentic. But
all right,
No,
I got the same question for you. But
so
go ahead.
like, for y'all don't know, like I'm not. Well, y'all, it kind of changed this past couple of years. Literally just this last year. But before this last year, through high school, especially my first year at school, I was never one to go out and party. You know what I'm saying? I had kids that my age that were going on there to drink and get drunk. And it was because of family reasons I had growing up, my past with my parents and everything else. Like I wanted to stay away from alcohol as much as possible. So I understood, and that's just alcohol. This is weed. You know what I'm saying? All the other drugs everybody was taking. I wanted to stay away from those things until I understood how to deal with my emotions, so that I knew how to deal with my emotions, and I didn't have to be zoned out high every time something happened. I had to be drunk every time something happened. I knew how to deal with myself. And, through high school and through life, like how I dealt with myself was I deal with my emotions by playing the game. So I'm still feeling my emotions. I'm still understanding it, but I would use the game as an escape. And that's what I did at school. I had friends like, hey, let's go party, let's go do this and that. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool, but I'm on Fortnite. And this one, Fortnite was like, it was jumping. I had,
Hey, that was the was the Anarchy Acres time.
I literally
Good
had,
time.
I literally had 3 friends like that was like exactly like me. And yeah, I still went out like once or twice. But when I went out with them. I wasn't going out with nobody else. And we all, for lack of better terms, was on the same time. Like we knew what time we was on. It was really school and football. That's all we wanted. Like, we wasn't worried about, you know what I'm saying, girls, this and that. And like I said, I was with my wife. So like I found out she was pregnant. So when I found out she was pregnant when I was at school, man, everything locked down, man. You couldn't tell me anything about a girl or anything like that. Cause like I didn't care. So that's why I want to say no. Like I ain't missed on that college life. But when I came here,
Because you still enjoyed your time, even though
and not even then, like
that's
I literally went out
what
like
it's really about.
when
It's
I'm
not
like
really about like yeah, because when you picture college and high school, you see
you drunk,
see the representation in media,
girls, frats,
right?
parties.
But it's really about your experience. And
Yeah.
your experience was something, and you can look back on your college days and be like, yeah, man, me and my boys was playing Fortnite all night. I was having fun. I don't regret nothing I did. Then you good.
With that being said, though, I still went on a party like 4 times throughout the whole year. But then I got here, and it was like I really understood how to deal with my emotions and everything like that. So I started to drink, and I would let myself drink, and I only let myself drink around people I trusted. Like I wasn't going to somebody's house. I didn't know. It was teammates strictly, and that wasn't till literally this year, January, February, March. I would go out with them. You know what I'm saying, and drink over there, and like enjoy that so-called party life, that college life I missed out on. So I missed out on it a little bit because I was like, what did it feel like to really party? I ain't missed, like, as far as like the question said, like single life. I ain't care about the single life. I just missed the party life because I feel like that party life, and I talk to people, it's like it's the same thing over and over again. But I feel like even if it's the same thing over and over again, and if it's with the same people, the outcomes are always different. The situations we go through, funny, bad, it's always different. The conversations are always different. Majority of the time, they're all funny. And it's like, that is something that I'm happy I got to experience, going out with the same 8 people in the friend group, and every day we got a new inside joke or something funny happens, or somebody falls down while we're walking. You know what I'm saying? It's just memories like that that's like, oh, if I didn't allow myself to go out and party, I wouldn't have these memories with my friends. They really probably wouldn't even be my friends. They'd just be teammates. But now they're like somebody I call to and like, hey man, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? And like actually become friends. So I feel like I did miss that aspect, but I made up on it now. And I was one of those people that was like, I felt so bad leaving my wife to go out and enjoy myself, but we had a conversation and we explained that, like, you know what I'm saying, it's what you need to have a healthy life, have a healthy mental. And once we had that, yeah, it was good. It was nice. Clean, fun, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, I don't know.
I feel like it's different now. Like for me, it's a little different because when I came into college single and ready to mingle, you know what I'm saying? It was just different. You just go out, you're like 90% of the time a young man goes out, he's looking for something to get into, looking to meet some people. But like when you get a little older, you get healthy relationships and committed relationships, you're going out, to hang out with the fellas. And it's just a different kind of social interaction when instead of approaching a young lady and be like, hey, what's good? What's your name? Oh, my name's so-and-so, and we're going to know each other really well. We're trying to push the envelope, push the agenda. Instead, you're meeting people and, like, you're finding out stuff about their actual personal life, and you're like, oh, that's crazy. I know such and such too. Oh, you took this class? That's crazy. Oh my goodness. And it's just weird how with different circumstance, like, you actually learn about genuine people.
Not even different circumstance, really just a different mentality.
Right, exactly. And it's crazy to think about sometimes. Because if I was on a different type of time, are you
really gonna know those people?
That person would have been that random person I tried to hit up to take back to the dorm.
Right.
That's the weird thing about it. Instead of being like, oh, that's an actual person, with feelings and they're
problems of their own.
Problems with their own.
They're trying to get away from for the weekend, have a good time.
Exactly. They're not a side character in my mission for the night. That's.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
People really forget that about in life in general. We all have siblings and family members, and how often do you just sit there and think about the fact that it was your aunt, your uncle, grandpa, third cousin have lives outside of when you see them at barbecues, family functions. It's just weird to think about sometimes, like a different perspective in terms of like real stuff going on in people's lives.
Right. And the reason why they're doing what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, Eric, I don't know how.
So speaking, adding on to the party lifestyle aspect of it.
Dang, that's
Oh,
cool.
my bad. I didn't know.
You
All right,
good?
go ahead. Continue.
People up all day.
Right? That's
Man,
crazy.
Relax.
Like, I don't know how, because their household is different for real. Like, I don't know how you guys handle decision making based on like plans because of that. Because I know like we're all three of us are real busy. Like, we have class, we have ball, we have inside of ball, we have meetings, practice, lifts, and then like mandatory little things that we all have to do.
On top of that, you know, you got to deal with work and homework. And
Right.
You staying on top of grades.
So like, how do y'all go through like that decision making process between like what needs to get done now and who needs to stay home and who needs to do this and the other?
I mean, during the season, it's more like, I don't want to say like I come first, but it's like I come first. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not laughing, G, because it's like it's true. It's like not taking nothing away from my wife because she's still in school. She's doing all her, she's doing everything. I'll take it. Just the last one.
I think so. Okay, good. We'll do it like that.
There we go. But you know, we moved here for a reason. We moved here so I can get my degree and I can still pursue my dreams in football. And in doing so, what I don't want to say what I have has priority, but it has priority because like we moved here for that. So if I have practice at 7 at night or if I have practice at 6 in the morning, I have to be at those things. I have those obligations that I have to attend. And outside of the main season, we have our ways. Like during spring ball, I would miss meetings because I would go to work. Like I was like, hey coach, you know, I have to go to work. It's not more so of like, hey, I don't want to do football, but it's more of I want to be able to pay rent and live. So those priorities take over. But during the season, man, it's all football. You know what I'm saying? And luckily, I have a wife that understands that, and she is somebody that, you know what I'm saying, will like to help. And it helps because she's going to school, she's doing online. So she has online classes that's, I don't know what you call it. It's not like she has to be in a certain meeting for Zoom.
Asynchronous.
Yeah, she literally, they just like, hey, do this work and do this assignment. You have 2 weeks to do it. She finishes it. She's good. She has nothing else to do. That's her online schedule. So she does her homework.
She's got more free time.
Yeah, like she has more free time. Like, yeah, she has to deal with Sophia. She has to do the grocery shopping because I'm always gone. But it's like we found a kind of a way to make it work for us. And now that my daughter's getting a little older, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna put her in daycare. So not so much just so she could have free time, but more so my daughter can learn those interactions and learn better speaking, way to follow directions, what this is, learn things about life. As far as like kids just need to learn. And in that time we're gonna use that time for her to do maybe a big homework assignment. If she wants to work, take her there so she can go work a couple hours, make some money, and then, you know what I'm saying, all the money she makes, it goes to her. Like, I don't really ask. Like, I ask for it now in the summer because we're both working, we're both making a lot of money. Let's just stay on top of bills and keep positive in the account. But when school starts, man, like, she works, that's her money. Because how do I feel or how do I look if I tell her, hey, you have to move up here with me, you can't do anything, and when you make money, you have to give it to me to help me pay the bills? No, I brought you up here with a plan to pay all the bills and be able to not worry about money, and the only thing you have to do is your school and take care of Sophia for the times I'm gone. Obviously, when I'm home, I'm all on Sophia. You know what I'm saying, I'm taking you, you take a nap, you do what you do, but you know what I'm saying, that's why I feel like it was important to like agree on that part specifically. And for you, I'd say the same. Like if you guys can get that, I don't know how your situation is, but that's how my situation was for me. And it's like giving her money and letting her make her own money and things like that for her was like a burden that we didn't know was on our shoulders. She always felt like she had to ask me for things. She always felt like she had to run things by me. And I hated it. I'd come home. She was like, hey, look what I got from Goodwill. I got Sophia this toy. It was $3. I found this cute shirt. It was $2. And instead of just telling me, like, hey, I got Sophia this cool toy, I got this shirt I really like, she always threw in the money to make it seem like, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, I didn't spend a lot of money, don't be mad at me. I'm like, it's never that. She feels like she had to because it's technically it was like all my money, everything I pulled out for school, everything I worked and saved. But I'm like, no, we're married, we have a joint account, like everything that's mine is yours. But once we kind of like figured out that interaction and that lifestyle, it was easy to run through. And mind you, it took us like a year or something to like do it, because a lot of the time, you know what I'm saying, I'm hard-headed. She's kind of, you know what I'm saying, a little bit the same. And it's like, she'll go and just expect me to know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, look, you can show me 100 times, but if you don't tell me, I'm not going to do nothing, because I don't know. Like, if you don't tell me, how am I supposed to know to fix something? And it was like, once, you know what I'm saying, once we fixed it and got through it that way, man, everything turned out smooth, man, you know. But priorities come first. If I have football, I have games, I have meetings, I have to go because that's what we came for. But outside of football, man, we take it even, man. We split it up the best as possible and give each other each free time, our own free days, like a day it's kid free, a day to do what you want, go hang out with friends. You know, that's the way we figured it out.
I know. That's amazing.
I said
that
a lot to say nothing. I said the same thing over again. Go ahead.
That's
good.
You know, that's definitely good, you know, information and, you know, a way to, you know, look forward and, you know, like good ideas to have for the back of your mind when, you know,
right.
if you are expecting a kid or, you know, just even just being married in general. You know what I'm saying? Like,
y'all have a great way of doing things, it seems like.
Yeah.
It's a lot of give and take. You know, we wanted to talk about that a little bit. You know, it's
right. I was gonna say you touched on a lot of those points of
yeah.
like the sacrifices between both you guys. You know,
right.
So,
and I mean, for all our, hopefully a lot of our listeners and all our listeners, this can really be a look forward or an inward thought for now. And,
right.
You know, it's different. It's cool. It's a great thing to think about. And I personally, like me and my girl were talking about a decision that was going to have to be made semi soon. So she's due on the 20th of November, right?
You got a game.
Hopefully that's in the bye week between the last week of the season and the playoff. So if that works out, perfect. But it doesn't always work out that way for a lot of people. Like once you're 37 weeks, they call you full term. So if she goes 37 weeks, that's like week 7 or 8 for us, and we're on the road. Like those last 3 weeks of the season, right?
Yeah. First pregnancy is like what, 40 weeks? That's what's the
right. That's what it. That's
37 though. At 37, it could pop. Okay, sorry, keep going.
That's what I'm saying.
Deep talk.
So like,
let's ride
we could be in Indiana.
Let them land. Let's let them land.
Right.
Let them land.
Hey, let them land.
No, let you land.
Let you land.
Okay. Makes sense.
So look, it's like we could be in Indiana 3-4 hours away, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want you traveling like 37 weeks pregnant for no reason. Because if you're ready to go, like you're having that baby like now, a 4-hour drive isn't gonna do anything for anybody. Like it's just gonna be hindering everything. So she was like, okay, well, if I'm in labor on a Friday, we're traveling, what's gonna happen? I'm like, football. I don't know. I don't know. And I was like, well, if I'm on the bus, I'm on the bus. There's not a lot I can do about that. I'm like, what? I mean, if it's 6:00 in the morning, I'm like, hey, you know, Coach Cone, I'll meet y'all down there. Something. I don't know. Like,
I mean, at the end of the day, honestly, that's probably the best thing.
Right.
You have to tell my man, it's like, hey,
look, this is
what's
happening right
like,
now, and I'll meet y'all there.
So, like, what was that? How'd that conversation go? How did it end up playing out?
Well, the conversation came up at first because my grandmother asked. Like, we were out in public. We were out like having dinner with my family, you know, our family now, and she was like, "So, what happens if, you know, you have a game?" And I looked at her straight in the face, my 73-year-old grandmother, and I said, I'm playing football with the straightest face I ever could, and she looked at me, and she beamed me in the back of the head, bang. No, you're not. And I was like, well, you know, this kid's gonna be around for a while, hopefully. Like, I don't get to play football
I hope you didn't say that.
Oh, I did, like, wholeheartedly. I was like, God, I hope this kid's around, you know, for a long time. And I plan on being around for a long time.
Yeah, you are hilarious.
I'm about to say, that's silly.
I mean, like, and that's where my head was at the time. Because I was like, man, look.
So is it different now?
A little. It's a little different. So, like, at the time, I was like, yeah, if you have that kid at 9 o'clock on a Friday, I'm on the bus at 8. You know, I don't know what to do about that. But now it's like, okay, well, like,
if she goes,
this is if she goes
in the hospital at 6,
like, before I'm supposed to be, then you know what? We're gonna make it work.
Right.
If I'm in Indiana, it's halftime, and I find out somehow. God, I hope I don't find out at halftime. Like, that'd just be an ornery way to find out. But my mom comes down, hey, she just gave birth. Dang. Cool, I'll meet her there. I'll take the whole bus. I'll tell the bus driver, hey, you gotta drop me off on the way. I don't care. I really don't. I
damn, you might have to.
Not a singular care in the world. Hey, y'all want to meet my kid? Cool.
I'm about to say it's gonna be what? So 50,
55 guys waiting in the lobby.
Yep.
Call it good.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'd say, as somebody that's already experienced that, nah, man, it's not trying to say nothing about, you know what I'm saying, your college career, or, you know what I'm saying, if you have dreams or anything you want to do, but in the nicest but meanest way possible, you ain't getting paid big bucks for this game.
It's true.
And this, not saying like, it's an experience you only gonna get once, as in the sense of it's only your first kid, like your first kid. You can have another kid, you can see that one, but like I'm saying, your first kid, like especially like if you could prevent that, so usually like on Fridays, if it's a away game, Fridays, you know what I'm saying, even if it's a home game and she goes in, the game's at 12 and she goes in and she's pushing at 11 in the morning, personally, I'd tell you, man, skip the game. You know what I'm saying? You've played in a lot of games. You still, hopefully, depending on what week it is, you have another game after that. But that kid, man, that's something that you literally not gonna get that back.
And even if you're the whole conversation,
even if you're in the hotel, like, mom, come pick me up. Like, I don't care if it's 4 hours, 5 hours. You need to get on the road and come pick me up because I need to see my kid get born. And then after I watch my kid come out, I need you to take me back to the stadium, and I'm going to get dressed at 11 o'clock stretch, and I'm going to go, you know what I'm saying, get a little dub. You know what I'm saying?
And that was the whole conversation for her. And I was like, that was her argument. And I couldn't look at her and be like, no, you're wrong. Nah, you're wrong. Well, like, I was just sitting there like, I don't.
You ain't right.
Right. That's the whole thing. I'm like, it was one of those stubborn things where it's like, nah, like we'll make it work either way. Like I'm not worried about it. You know, you'll give birth at 40 weeks. We'll be all good.
It's gonna land perfectly on that bye week.
Either way, there's 5 other days out of the week. You'll give birth on one of those 5 days. We'll be all good.
Yeah.
But like,
that's your hope.
Right. It kept me up at night one night, man. I was sitting there like, bro,
the if situation.
I don't want to miss that. I don't want to
miss
football. At that point,
and it sounds so selfish. It does. Like I can't get around the fact. But I'm like, man, that's selfish as hell. But I really want to be selfish about it. Like it's one of like there's a really good chance, maximum, get 14 weeks of football. Right? They're like maximum.
That's your clock.
Maximum, there's a good chance I get 14 weeks of playing collegiate football games. And it's on the clock. You know? So it's like, and my whole rebuttal to myself to try and make myself feel better about it was, you know what? I'll be in this kid's life forever. You know, it's like bare minimum, they're in my house 17, 18 years. And then they're an adult and I'm still around. But it's a crazy thought, you know? And the fact that we go back and forth like every day, about a thought process just breeds to the fact of how.
But I mean, it's an important thought at this time. Like,
right. But not even just that. Like it goes.
Like, it's like, well, you basically expected 6 months. Like, that's
less,
not far. Less than that. Yeah, because it's 4. My fault. 4.
Yeah.
So you got 4 months you expected. Mm-hmm. You know, camp starting in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You know, and then after camp, we know how quick the season goes by.
Flies.
You know, once you start getting into them, you know, them Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, it's the same thing every week. Yeah. You know, it's gonna be a 7 to 9, a 4 to 6, a 4 to 6, and a 3 to 5, and then it's game day. And we know how quick that season go. I mean, shoot, it felt like the season was a month long last year. You know what I'm saying? Like it really feels like the season, like that season just goes by.
And
so it's like, I mean, I get why you say like you want to be selfish, but I also understand Eric's point of like this is your first kid,
right? And that's so the whole thing that gets me. Like,
cool. Like my next kid, I'm gone. I'm at no, I'm bullshit. I hope you listening. Look, but going into that, I don't know if we really hit this. I feel like we hit it, but without hitting it. Drew, how does she affect your decisions? Like, not just decisions like football. I feel like this should be the last question.
That's what I want to ask after the whole like missing the party. Like I wanted to like, how was y'all interactions? You know, in social situations like at parties. How are they different with and without her? And also, how does knowing you have a wife, you have a kid, you got a kid expecting, like, how does that affect your decisions with what you do, during the day and
so like
things like that.
So we can end off on this. This is a good question.
This is a great question to do it. So like during the day, it's weird because you'll sit there and be like, okay, I know that my wife has such and such today, and then I know that I have to be home to make sure I'm with her to do this. So like, let's say we have to go re-sign a lease. We have to go pick out a paint color for the living room, a couch, period. And then we sit there, I just sit there and be like, okay, I need to leave at this time. Then it's cool. Or if we're out at a party, we're out at the bar with the boys. Okay, I know that she's not going to feel comfortable with me not home at all. Granted, it happens sometimes. It does. Like I can't lie about that. There'll be times where it's like, okay, I'm drunk. I'm gone for the night. I'm a crash with the boys. Gone in the morning. And that goes back into the whole happy wife, happy life thing. She was not happy. Like she's not happy, and nobody's happy at that point. But you know what happens? It's still a thought process, though. And then, like in social situations where females are involved, right? There's not a ton of hugging anymore. There's not a ton of like, oh my God, hey, what's good? Nah, it's what's good, big dog. You good? Knuckle.
He said knuckle.
Give her some dap. Little like slight side hug if I've known her a while.
And your girl's good.
Right. Like if my girl's met her and it's like cool, it's like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, this is okay. This is an okay thing. But other than that, like, it's weird to think about another person when you think about daily things. Like at first it was a crazy thing to me. Like it didn't make sense. I was sitting there like, man, I'm grown. Like I'm like this is I want to do this. I'm doing this. I'll tell her that I'm doing this. But this is happening. It wasn't a question to like, hey babe,
Can I go do this?
can I go to the bar? Can I go hang out with the guys? And she's amazing. She really is. Because I really don't know if I can count on a hand the time she said, no, you can't. So she, like, I'm blessed to have.
But it's like you're still gonna ask, just
right?
Because it's
out of like a respect
I
type
have
thing.
to.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I have to.
Because it's the give and take again. Like,
right.
We have a life together. We have a life made.
Because at one time you
together.
don't ask, she might have said no. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
nah, I kind of want you home tonight. We have that thing in the morning. This, that, and the other. You know, I know. Like Eric already touched on this, and he did a great job. Like already, but it's crazy to think about yourself. However long ago, like you weren't with your wife. Be like, dang, can't believe I did that. Like that's, I can't believe I used to do the things that I used to do.
Definitely can't do that shit now.
I definitely can't do that shit now. Like this, no, I can't do things to just bend at my will anymore, because that's wrong. Like that's a messed up thing that you're just like, hey, yeah, this is happening.
Not really much you can do to stop me.
I don't care what you have to say about this. This is happening without a conversation.
Yeah. I guess going next for me, it's like, trust me, we done had our ups and downs about this situation, about this type of topic. You know what I'm saying? More times than I wanted to. But I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like it just comes down to trust, and if you know what I'm saying, she trusts me and I trust her, and it's like I trust her to go out and do any and everything she wants to do, because at the end of the day, we are our own people, and we kind of had a falling off about this because this is something that's changed about me as I matured. She took it as a sign of like, you know, I don't care. It's like, no, I absolutely do care, but I also understand that we are grown, and if you're gonna do something to jeopardize what we got, then you're gonna do that, and there's no way I'm gonna stop you. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna do it, and we're gonna have to deal with the consequences, and you know what I'm saying, deal with it as that comes. But she took me as trusting her as like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? And we had our ups and downs about it, and we talked about it, and like as far as for me, man, like I'm low key, like I'm really lucky when it comes to this. Like I really didn't go out, you know what I'm saying, to parties till very, very recently. I came to the school first year of COVID. No one knew my face because I had a mask on every day. Even last year, we had a mask for over half the year. 3/4 of the year, we had a mask on. And it wasn't until I started going out with like even at school, they cut the mask off. But it's like, I didn't know anybody, and don't nobody know me. And it was like, yeah, I kind of had like that, oh, that's Eric because of football. But like, I didn't know anybody. I know, like, oh, I've seen them before, but I didn't know anybody, and no one knew me. Like like even now, there's not a girl really that can walk up on campus and start talking to me.
Right.
Because I don't talk. I literally don't talk to nobody. Like there's a few that I met from hanging out with my friends. You know what I'm saying, up in their room, and they're just their friends that always go in there to talk to them. So if I'm always up there, of course I'm gonna meet them. So like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like it's absolutely zero, but like when I went to the party,
it's not one to the point where you be up in their face.
No, like
you know
never.
It's like
it's like, you know what I'm saying, 9 times out of 10 they not even
up in your face.
They don't care because they into everybody else. Yeah, they into everybody else. I'm just there. You know what I'm saying? I know them because they be there. But it's like when it goes to the parties, it's like I'm in the party, I'm literally with my mans the whole time, for real. Majority of every party, I'm with my mans the whole time, like the whole group of friends. And I go from group to group, you know what I'm saying? I say what up to all my peoples, and we kick it that way. And it's like, all the times I went out, I think there was one time someone came up to me and actually approached me. Now, you know, it's a party. Everybody gonna look at everybody. You gonna see everybody that you with. And a lot of people looked at me. I done looked at a lot of people just like looking around. You know what I'm saying? Not like checking them out, but you know what I'm saying? Just looking like, oh, I know that person. I don't know that person. I've only had one time where somebody came up to me and like tried talking to me. And mind you, I found out I still don't know who this person is. It was somebody that came with one of our teammates, and the poor lady, she was like blackout drunk. Like it was, you know what I'm saying? She was more drunk than any person should have been. And I straight up told him, I'm like, yeah, I mean, I thank you, I appreciate it and cool and all, but like I'm married. Like I flashed my ring in her face. She's like, oh my God, like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know you were married. I'm like, yeah, blah blah. Out of all the times I ever went out, that was one time. Mm-hmm. One time somebody I didn't even know. Honestly, I don't even think they went to our school or nothing. So that's I know for a fact they didn't go to our school. So it's like, for me when going out, you know what I'm saying, it's like, you know what I'm saying, trust me like I trust you. Mm-hmm. I'm going out with my friends and she knows like I don't drink. So if I do drink, I'm not coming home. Like I don't trust myself drinking Mike's Hard Lemonade and driving. You know what I'm saying? So she knows exactly where I'm at every time. I'm up in shout out TJ, Justin and them. I'm up right there on their couch every time. I wake up, come home like 8 o'clock in the morning, nice and early. I'm saying I shower, and we go about our day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all that partying and decision making. It's like I couldn't make a decision to do something bad if I wanted to because I don't know nobody. No one knows me. It's like I live like, oh, that's a guy that plays football. Not one person can come up to you and say like, oh, Eric did this, or I talked to Eric and we talked about this and that, because like I ain't talking to nobody. You know what I'm saying? When I go to the parties, man, I'm with my people and we having fun. That's all I
kicking it.
Just saying, that's all I wanted to do. Yeah. It's like even like you, like I don't even ain't no one getting a side look at me. Like the most they get is a fist pound. Like,
right. That's
like, you know what I'm saying? Like how you doing? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That is really it. You know what I'm saying?
He said, ain't nobody getting a side hug.
You know what I'm saying? This is like really a fist pound.
Mm-hmm.
But then, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, yeah, man, be drunk. Be drunk.
Hey, at least you honest, man. At least you honest.
I mean, shoot,
see some.
That's the way it really is, though. Like, can you imagine, like?
Also, I just want to cut you off.
Please.
But I also don't want to say like I ain't gonna lie about nothing. Yeah, there are one or two like friends that like, you know, what I'm saying, brothers gonna listen like, oh, he lying. Like, no, I ain't lying. When I was up here by myself, I went through a depressing time and I made friends. There's about 2 people on this campus that I would legit give a side hug to. That's because they helped me get out of a dark place. Everybody that I know personally know that. So y'all hear this and try to text anybody, oh, he lying. No, anybody lying. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
that's just
on,
it.
Bro.
No,
like it. I couldn't imagine going out not with everybody, because it'd just be weird not hanging out with the fellas. So I mean, like, it's a great time. We love, you know, all the things that we've done with each other and everything. But I think it's about time to wrap it up. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Second episode of Sitting and Sipping. Make sure y'all subscribe down at the bottom.
Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think about, you know, what we doing. Anything that we could, you know, improve upon, change upon. Let us know.
And even then, we still might not care because we're going to do it our way, the authentic way. No, I'm playing. Thank y'all for listening, man. We love everybody that tapped in. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all our socials. You know what I'm saying? Follow us. George, Drew, and me. It's going to be on our profile and the About page. So you can follow us in our life as we go through this podcast and this journey.
Peace.
Yurt.